Hello students, this is Chandrashekar, social science teacher, BGS Public School, Shitlghatta, Chikbalapura Division. First of all, my heartful thanks to STF Digital Group prepared by such a wonderful sources related to education, especially for the social science. These sources are very useful to 10th standard children. Dear students, today we have to start the fresh lesson, that is Indian forest resources. Forest. How nice it is. The greenery, good weather condition, pure air, animals, beautiful birds, waterfalls, flowing of rivers, birthplace of so many mineral resources. And we should consider forests are the natural resources of our Indian country. Forest resources are the natural resources of our Indian country. In this chapter, we have to learn some of the important following aspects. Some of the important following aspects we have to learn from the lesson Indian forest resources. So such important factors are meaning and importance of forest resources. What is the meaning of forest? Then, what was the role playing by forests to economically development of our nation? So, what is the meaning of forests and importance of forest resources? Types and distribution of forests in India. Because of the reason, the forests not evenly distributed throughout the Indian country. The forests are distributed unevenly. So that is, we have to find out for the types and distribution of forest in India, and the forests also from one part to another part of our Indian country. The kinds are too different. We not found for the equal forests of throughout our Indian country. Conservation of forests. Because of the reason, forests are playing very important role. Forests are providing shelter to the wild animals and providing some raw materials to the industries, and forests are bring for the rain. Some of the reason purpose, it is our responsibility to save for the forest or to conserve for the forest. So that is conservation of forests. Then wildlife sanctuaries and national parks in India. So these two are interrelated. Even Biosphere Reserve of India also. These three also interrelated. Wildlife sanctuaries, national parks and biosphere reserves. Throughout the lesson, so that is Indian forest resources, we have to learn some of the important following aspects like meaning and importance of forest resources, types of distributions of forest in India, conservation of forests, wildlife sanctuaries and national parks in India, then biosphere reserves of India. Dear students, first, what is the meaning of forests? What is the meaning of forest? Forest is a large area of land. A large area of land. The land is not very small. The land is very big. So that is we should consider for the a large area of land covered with trees. We can found for some of the important grass, bushes, plants, trees. So that is covered with the trees and undergrowth. Got it? The small trees and bushes are grown in naturally. A large area of land covered with trees and undergrowth is called as the forest. So this is one more question. Write the meaning of forest means. What is the meaning of forest? A large area of land covered with trees and undergrowth is called as a forest. It is generally extensive and commercial value. Extensive means generally it is big in size. Forests are always big in size. So that is extensive forests are generally extensive and commercial value, profit oriented. Commercial means profit oriented. Because of the reason we have to utilizing forests for profit purpose also. Got it? Because of the reason forests are providing majority of the some of the important raw materials to our Indian country. By utilizing that raw materials, we are all earning for the sources of income. So that is the commercial value. Forests are generally extensive under commercial value. Then forests consist of either natural or planted vegetation. Naturally, forests are a gift of the nature, so that is natural. And planted vegetation, so it is our duty and responsibility for the citizens of our Indian country. We have to plant for the plants and make for the forests. So that is, it consists of either natural or planted vegetation. Then after the meaning, the very important, dear students, what is the importance of forests? So forest very important. So the first one is provide industrial raw materials. Provide industrial raw materials. For example, see, trees are used for some of the important reasons purpose to make for the wood and paper, etc., etc., etc. Mainly for suitable manufacture and finishing products we have to receive through the forests. So forests provide industrial raw materials. The first one. Then provide fodder for livestock. It means forests are providing food for animal being. Forests are providing food for animal being. For example, cow, sheep, goat, etc., etc., etc. Even the forests are providing employment opportunities for the people. Forests are providing employment opportunities for the people also. Then preserve the physical features. Preserve the physical features. It means here the ecological balance is very important. The equal balance. Forests are providing for the or preserve for the physical features. It means maintaining for the ecological balance. That good climatic condition, the very useful for lead for the animals and even for the birds and even for the human being also very important. Preserve the physical features. Check soil erosion. It control the soil erosion. It control the soil erosion. It means washing away of soil by the flow of water. When water is moving forcibly, there is a trees means the trees are stopped for the soil erosion and control floods. Even when water is flowing most of the force is there, trees means control of the floods also. So that is check soil erosion and control floods. Prevent desertification, destruction. Prevent desertification, destruction. It means the trees is there means avoiding for the desertification. So that is prevent desertification. Help to improve the soil fertility. Where there is a trees, so such a places always the soil quality is increasing. So that is help to improve the soil fertility. Where trees are available more and more, where plants are available more and more, so such a places the fertility of the soil or the quality of soil always increasing. Then make the climate equable. So that is we should already explain, dear students, the equal balance. So that is the ecological balance where there is a most of the trees and most of the plants, the nature, the equal balancing is going on. So that is make the climate equable. So this is through the forests available. Then provide shelter to wildlife. We're all the human being living in a villages, urban areas, cities, towns, etc., etc., etc. But what about for the wild animals leading life in a forest? Wild animals leading life in a forest. So that is why forests are providing shelter to wildlife. So dear students, this is 3 more question. What the importance of forest means? providing industrial raw materials, provide fodder for the livestock, employment opportunities for the people, preserve the physical features, check soil erosion and control floods, prevent desertification, help to improve the soil fertility, make the climate equable, provide shelter to wildlife. So these are the importance of forests. Then dear students, we have to gather one by one what are the types of forest we have to found in India. Before that, the forests are mainly depending upon in India, the types of forest depends on climate. Because of the reason the climate is too different from one season to another season and one place to another place. We have to see North India, one type of climate. Once we come for the South India, another one type of climate. So in India, the types of forest depends on climate, soil, even soil also. Somewhere we have to see for the black soil. Somewhere we have to see for the red soil. Somewhere laterite soil. Somewhere alluvial soil. Somewhere mountain soil. Somewhere desert soil. So dear students, even the types of forest in India mainly depending upon for the soil also. Then relief features. The features are different from one place to another place. So North India covered by land, South India covered by oceans. So this is relief features. Mainly the types of forest in India mainly depending upon for the climate, soil and the relief features. Then we have to gather one by one at what type of forests are there throughout the Indian country. The forests of India can be classified mainly 6 types. How many types of forests are there means 6 types. The first one is the tropical evergreen forests. The first one is tropical evergreen forests. Second one, the tropical deciduous forests. Second one, the tropical deciduous forests. Third one, scrub forest and grassland. Scrub forest and grassland. Desert vegetation. Fourth one is desert vegetation. Fifth one, mountain forests. Fifth one, mountain forests. Then sixth one, mangrove forests. Sixth one, mangrove forests. So what are the types of forest we have to found throughout the Indian country means there are 6 types of forest. The first one is tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, scrub forest and grassland, desert vegetation, mountain forest, mangrove forests. Then one by one we have to learn in detail information about forests. The first one is the tropical evergreen forests. Tropical evergreen forest. See there name showing for that evergreen. It means the forests are always green, looking like a greenery. So these forests means the tropical evergreen forest, or mainly we have to found for the where there is a rainfall more than 250 centimeter. Where there is a rainfall more than 250 centimeters above. So which places there is a 250 centimeters and above rainfall is there. So such a places we can found for the tropical evergreen forests. So it means we are available for the more than 250 centimeters above rainfall areas in our Indian country. Means they are found mainly on the western slopes of the Western Ghats. See here, mainly are shining the western slopes of the Western Ghats and hills of northeastern states. So here these hills, see here mainly hills of northeastern states. Then Assam, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Tripura, Manipura and Andaman Nicobar Islands we can found for the tropical evergreen forests. Then dear students, these forests are dense. These forests means the tropical evergreen forests are dense. It means heavy, thick and the trees are grow to a great height, the taller and taller, very tall. These forests are very dense. It means dense means we have to see for that always having a green leaves, do not shed their color branches. They are thick and cannot allow sun rays into the forests that is dense. Like these forests are dense and the trees are grow to a great height. Why, look at here, the trees and plants do not shed their leaves because of the reason throughout the year the leaves color always green. They never turned into another color. They never turned into another color. So the tropical evergreen forest plants do not shed their leaves during the year. At the same time, full of the year, they covered by only for the greenery. Only for the greenery. So this is why. So this was the reason purpose. They are evergreen. So there is one more question. Why tropical evergreen forests are evergreen? Because of the reason the trees and plants do not shed their leaves during the year at the same time. So this is the main reason the tropical evergreen forests are evergreen. And this type of forest, the forests are very thick and never allowed sunrise to the forest because of the reason dense and thick. So the important trees, or at what type of trees have to grow in the tropical evergreen forests: teak, rosewood, ebony, mahogany, gurjan and champa. Some of the important trees have to grow in the evergreen forests. Then the second one is, dear students, the tropical deciduous forests. Tropical deciduous forest, equatorial climate or hot climate we have to see for that. These forests are found in areas the annual rainfall is 100 to 200 centimeter. Already told about for the evergreen forest where there is a 250 centimeters above rainfall. So such areas we have to see for the evergreen forest. Then what about for the tropical deciduous forest? The annual rainfall is only 100 to 200 centimeters. So where available for the 100 to 200 centimeters? Mine, look at for here. They are occupied wide area largely on the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. So evergreen forests are western slopes of the Western Ghats. Got it? And the tropical deciduous forests are mainly we have to see for they are occupied a wide area largely on the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. So here for the shining, so from here to here, this all we have to see for the tropical deciduous forests. Got it? This is including Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Chota Nagpur, Plateau, foothills of Himalayas, parts of Odisha and West Bengal. See the parts of Odisha and West Bengal. We have to see for the tropical deciduous forest. So this distribution of the forest mainly for the tropical deciduous forests. Then the trees in these forests shed their leaves. So evergreen forests do not shed their leaves at the same year. So the evergreen forest always evergreen. But this is totally opposite the tropical deciduous forest. The trees in the forest shed their leaves. They turned the color. They change the color during the spring and early summer. So beginning of the summertime and the spring, do you know like that the season of growth in Kannada Vasanta Rutu anta kariತಾರೆ. So that time shading for the leaves. So the trees in this forest shed their leaves during spring and early summer. So it was the reason purpose the tropical deciduous forests also called as monsoon forests. So this is the main reason, dear students. The tropical deciduous forests also called as monsoon forest. So there is one more question or MCQ question. Why? The tropical deciduous forest, also called as monsoon forest, means because the trees in this forest shed their leaves during the spring and early summer, hence they are also known as monsoon forests. The important trees. The important trees have to grow in the tropical deciduous forests. Teak, sal, sandalwood, kusum, kanju, myrobalan, cerise, mango, neem, tamarind. These are all the some of the important trees have to grow in tropical deciduous forests. Then third one, scrub forest and grassland. Scrub is nothing but bushes. Scrub is nothing but bushes. Grassland means grass. We have to see. Then where we have to see for the scrub forest and grasslands, evergreen forest 200 and above centimeter rainfall. And second one, we already learned about the tropical deciduous forest, 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall. Scrub forest and grassland, 60 to 100 centimeter of rainfall. 60 to 100 centimeter of rainfall. So here the scrub with the short coarse grass. The grass never grown tall, very short. And short coarse means the grass is very hard or the grass is very rough. We can see for the thorny trees, it means the small trees consist of the leaves are very thick and the leaves are consist of very hard, like that. The thorny trees and bushes means scrubs are found scattered. It means rarely we have to see these all in scrub forest and grasslands. So the scrub with short coarse grass, thorny trees and bushes are found scattered rarely, viralavagi we have to found for the trees, bushes and short coarse grasses. Then dear students, they found in Kutch and the fringe of the Thar desert. Do you know like that? Mainly Kutch, this is one of the important district in Gujarat. So such a place we have to found for some of the important scrub forest and grassland. Let's see. So look at shading for main there. And grasslands are mainly found in eastern Rajasthan, Punjab, parts of the western Ghats and the Cardamom hills. So where there is a shading available for, so such a places we have to found for the scrub forest and grassland. So here and these, and look at the map dear students, in these places we have to found for the scrub forest and grasslands. And after that, fourth one is desert vegetation. Desert vegetation, it means arid land with no vegetation. We have to see for the only sand on soil, that's it. These are found in areas with annual rainfall only 10 to 50 centimeter. It means the annual rainfall is very less, only 10 to 50 centimeters of rainfall. And the Thar desert including, where we have to see for the desert vegetation means, look at the map. So this is Thar desert. Thar desert including parts of Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and Deccan Plateau. Such a places we can found for the desert vegetation. Thar desert main including parts of Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and Deccan Plateau. Such a places we can found for the desert vegetation. Then the desert vegetation, an account of scanty rainfall. Scanty rainfall means the rainfall is very less. I already told the rainfall is 10 to 50 centimeter, that's it. So on account of scanty rainfall, vegetation consists of scattered. It means rare vegetation we have to found. What it? Rare vegetation have to found. Trees and thorny bushes, very small trees and bushes means scrubs we have to found in desert vegetation because of the reason scanty rainfall, very less rainfall. These some of the important trees we have to found in the desert vegetation: Jhan, Khair, Kholko, Babul, Cacti and Kejra are the very important. We know about the bubble toothpaste, dear students. So that bubble toothpaste, by using the bubble tree, have to prepare for the bubble toothpaste. So desert vegetation, there is a scanty rainfall, very less rainfall. So that is why we have to see for the scattered trees, very rare trees, because of the reason the rainfall is very less. And thorny bushes means the leaves are very hard, thick. Got it? I already told for the rough. So such a important leaves we have to see the bushes, scrubs. After the desert vegetation, the fifth one is mountain forests. See dear friends, the mountain forest, the trees and plants which grow on the slopes of the mountain. Slopes, a non-flat area upwards and downwards. The area always not available for the equal. Somewhere downwards and somewhere upwards available for that. So that is we should consider for the slopes. The trees and plants which grow on the slopes of the mountain are called mountain forest. What are mountain forests means? The trees and plants which grow on the slopes of the mountain are called as mountain forests. So the plants and trees are vary. It means already told the change. Vary means change. It means the height in change, the climate. Where there is a mountain, so such a places the climate is always changing. Because of the reason the mountains are height about the sea level. The mountains are height about the sea level. The temperature always decreasing, climate always changing. The plants and trees are very change. Very means change with the increasing altitude. It means height always increasing for that. So the trees and plants which grow on the slope of the mountain are called mountain forest. This is the meaning. Then the plants and trees are vary with increasing altitude. Vary means change. The climate is always changing. The weather condition is changed. Because of the reason the mountains are height about the sea level, the weather condition is cool, the temperature is decreasing. So that is increasing altitude, also height, temperature changing. The important trees: oak, chestnut, ash, beech, pine, cedar, spruce, fir, deciduous, walnut. These are all the some of the important trees have to found in mountain forests. And I forgot to say about the desert vegetation, dear students. Sorry about for that. In India, mainly, so here available for the desert vegetation. By mistake here, actually that is mountain vegetation. You look out for that. This is not a desert vegetation. This is for the mountain vegetation. In India, they occur in the Himalayas and the small extent in the Nilgiri hills. From northern part to southern part, there is extent of the mountain forests. So look at here where there is for look at the map, dear students, mainly. So here see, got it, and Nilgiri hills to up to here. In India, the mountain forests are occur in Himalayas and to small extent in the Nilgiri hills. These are the Nilgiri hills. And after mountain forest, we have to look about for the last important forest, mangrove forest. These forests are found wet marshy areas. It means ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ವಾಟರ್. ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಜವುಗು ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಂದರೆ ನೀರು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೆಟ್. ವಾಟರ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಶ್ಲಿ. ದ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ವೆಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಶ್ಲಿ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್. ಇನ್ ರಿವರ್ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾಸ್. ಸೊ ನದಿ ಹೋಗುವಂಥ ಜಾಗ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನದಿ ಹೋಗದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಜಾಗ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಟ್ river deltas means 3 river system of deep position system: Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, Satluj, like so said. In river deltas and along the sea coast washed by tides. Sea coast washed by Tides. It means tides means rise and fall of the sea, waves. Sea level always we can see means sometime too high because of the reason tide, somewhere slow because of the reason tides. So totally where we have to found for the mangrove forest means these forests are found in wet marshy areas. So this is wet marshy areas where there is a more water. So such a places we can found for the mangrove forest and river deltas. So river flowing areas and along the sea coast. So these all places we can see for the mangrove forest. Got it? So wet to marshy means this consists of water. River deltas. Got it? River flowing means aside and beside of the river banks we can see for such a forest. And along the sea coast. Along the sea coast also we can see for this type of forest. So that is the mangrove forests. And this mangrove forests, they are all mainly found in the deltas of rivers on the eastern coast, not for the western coast, eastern coast. So here river flowing sea and aside and beside we can see for some of the important forests. So that is we should consider for the mangrove forest. This is possible only for the eastern coast but not for the western coast. The eastern coast. So this is for the eastern coast. We can see for the mangrove forests. And also found in pockets on the western coasts of India. Pockets mean an enclosed space. Pockets means the enclosed space here. This is the pockets enclosed. This is one type of pocket and this is one type of pocket. Here also we can see for the mangrove forest. They are mainly found in deltas of river then and also found in pockets on the western coast of India. So this is for the western coast and opposite we have to see for this is the pockets also dear my dear students. And the important trees here, Rhizopora, Canis, Screeper, Palms, Sundari. So some of the important trees have to found in mangrove forest, Rhizopora, Canis, Screwpipe, Palms, Sundari. These are the very very important trees have to grow in mangrove forests. And these mangrove forests, see one of the trees trunks are supported by a number of silt like. It means see like looking like a pillar. There is a support. There is a support. This is a silt. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೂಳು ಅನ್ನೋದು ತುಂಬಿಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ and there is a support. ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ the tree trunks the main root trunks ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರುಗಳು ಅಂತ. Got it? The tree trunks are supported by a number of stilt like. Got it? A pillar. So here there is a pillar like roots. Ivella roots which are submerged under water. ಅಂದರೆ ನೀರಿನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಬೇರು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬೇರಿನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮರ್ಜ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. So this is possible only in mangrove forests. The tree trunks are supported by a number of stilt like roots which are submerged under water. So these are the 6 types of forest we have to found throughout the Indian country, dear students. We already learned about for the meaning of forest and types of forest. So types of forest wise come means we have to keep in our mind 4 points. The annual rainfall, distributed area, and where we have to found for the forest and at what type of trees and plants available for in a forest. So we have to always keep in our mind. Then after distribution of the forests. See the total forest area of India. The total forest area of India 7.74 lakh square kilometer. This is one marker MCQ question. The total forest area of India was 7.74 lakh square kilometer. The total forest area of India. Then that area we have to convert to the percentage wise means the area that we have to convert to the and calculate to the percentage wise means 23.6% of the total geographical area of the country forest. Got it? Throughout the Indian country, percentage wise 23.6%. Square kilometer wise 7.74 lakh square kilometer. And this is much below the 33.3% recommended by the National Forest Policy Resolution of 1952. See, according to the National Forest Policy Resolution Act 1952, though it's saying each and every one country at least maintain of 33.3% of forest area compulsory, like, so below no need. So this is said by National Forest Policy Resolution of 1952. According to this, each and every one country minimum have to maintain for the forest 33.3%. But compared to National Forest Policy Resolution of 1952, our Indian country consists of less. There is a 33.3% recommended by National Forest Policy. But in India available only 23.6%. And even it is below the world's average. It is even below, very less compared to the world average. See, world average 29.5%. Each and every one country of the world we have to see for the variety types of the forest 29.5, but in our Indian country only 23.6%. So this is the distribution of forest, and here the largest forest area covered in India and least forest area covered in India. We have to see forest in India are not evenly distributed. It means unevenly, because of the reason already told. There is a influence of the climate, got it, and influence of the some of the important relief features like, and influence of the soils. So this was the reason purpose forests in India are not evenly distributed. So what is the main reason why forests in India are not evenly distributed? Means because of the reason climate and relief features and soils. And nearly 60% of the forest area of the country in the Himalayas. So this is, we should consider for the Himalayas. Mainly, dear students, 60% of the forests, or mainly we have to see for the Himalayas. Then remaining 20% we have to see in peninsular hills and the northern plains and peninsular hills. We have to see for the remaining 20% of area. So nearly 60% of the forest area of the country is in the Himalayas and the peninsular hills, and 20% is in the northern plains. Then among to the throughout the Indian country, India consists of 28 states and 8 union territories. 28 states and 8 union territories. So Madhya Pradesh is the largest forest area. So this is covered by, which is the largest area in India, means which state means Madhya Pradesh. Least means Goa. So this is Goa. Largest forest area covered by Madhya Pradesh and the least forest area covered by Goa. So this is the distribution of the forests. And destruction for forests. Destruction for forests. Dear students, mainly see here, forests play an important role in the national economy of India. Forests are playing very important role in the economically development of our Indian country. But unfortunately, in recent years, the forest has become going to decline. The forest has been going to destroying or destruction or decline. What are the main reasons? What are the main reasons purpose there is a destruction of forests are available? What is destruction of the forest? Behind that there are some reasons. We have to learn one by one what are the main reasons for the destruction of the forests. So the first one is the expansion of agriculture land. The expansion of agriculture land. Dear students, here we have to keep in our mind always, got it? Expansion of agriculture land means population wise India is a second most country in the world. Got it? So supplying food materials to human being means, so agriculture playing very important role. So the agriculture land is very less. So it was a reason purpose they cutting for the trees, and such a place they making as a agriculture land. So look at this picture, dear students. So that is expansion of agricultural land. Then construction of roads and railways. Our Indian country goods and services import and export to such another countries also, and there is a trade and commerce relation between the states also. So some of the important goods importing some states to our state and our state to some states. So that is the import and export. So it was the reason purpose import and export is there means roads and railways are playing very important role. So it was the reason purpose destroying of the forests, cutting of the trees, make them for the railways and the roadways. Look at this picture, dear students. It's between the forest here going for the road. So here covered by only for the trees before the road, but now here road available and cutting for the trees. Irrigation projects, it means a work undertaken, it means construction of dams, etc, etc, etc. We have to construct for the dam means first of all we have to cutting for the trees. So this is also one of the important reason, irrigation projects. Then industrialization, the development of industries, because of the reason the population is growing more and more, the supplying raw materials to industries purpose they cutting for the trees, and finishing products providing to human beings purpose also they cutting for the trees. So here the growing of the industries playing very important role. So that is industrialization. This was the reason purpose also destruction of the forests. Then urbanization, the population is always increasing. The population is always increasing means we have to provide some of the food for the human being. So that is why expansion of the agriculture land and involving in a trade and commerce have to take for the irrigation projects and the growth of the industrialization. See, there is a link between one point to another point. Urbanization also leads to the destruction of forests. Then overgrazing, mainly as students, destroying grasslands also. This is the overgrazing mainly. Now, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳನ್ನು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್, ಎಮ್ಮೆ, ಹಸು, ಮೇಕೆ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮೇಯಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಂದುಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಎಲೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಂದುಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಓವರ್ ಗ್ರೇಸಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್. And forest fires, we know knowing or unknowingly sometimes possible to the forest fires have to take place. When forest fires have to take place, the total forest is completely destroying, it goes to burn. So these are the main reasons for the destruction of forests. So dear students, what are the reasons for the destruction of forest means the expansion of agriculture land, construction of roads and railways, irrigation projects, industrialization, urbanization, overgrazing, forest fires. Then conservation of forests, it means prevention of the forest. See, the prevention of destruction, we have to avoid for the destruction of the forest. So that is prevention, it means save. We should avoid for the prevention of destruction. Over exploitation of forests, got it? Over exploitation, because of the reason we have to cutting for the trees, and that leads to the development of the nation, got indirectly but not for the directly. We have to stop for that, the prevention of destruction, over exploitation of forests, and its management, it means direction. Somebody is or given direction, got it? Highest authority persons, highest management persons have to given certain directions to some of the important other organizations to make any one industry purpose to cutting of the trees. We should avoid for that and conserve for the forest. So that is the meaning of conservation of forest. The prevention of destruction, over exploitation of forest and its management is called as conservation of forest. And how we have to conserve for the forests. Measures for the conservation of forest in India. Is it possible, 100% possible to conserve for the forests in India? Control of deforestation. We have to stop for the cutting of the trees. So that is control of deforestation. Then restriction on grazing. So remove of the grass is there. No, we have to restrict for that. The mainly very important for that. Overgrazing is a reason for the destroying of the forest. So we have to avoid for that. Restriction on grazing. Then control of forest fires. We have to create awareness for the people how forest it is main use. We have to say to the human being and create awareness for, so that is control of forest fires. Prevention of encroachment on forest. Here mainly see by force, by violation, most of the people are cutting for the trees. We have to stop that. So prevention of the encroachment on a forest. Entrance by force. Somebody sir by force went to forest and cutting for the trees. It turned to the violation, and majority of the people involving in some of the important movements and stopping for the trees. For the Tapico movement and Chipico movement, like dear student, we have to stop for this. And control of forest insects and diseases. Like some of the important flea, ಕೀಟಗಳು, like sometimes forest will be destroyed by insects. ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಕೀಟಗಳು ಮರದ ಎಲೆಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲೆಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಂದು ಆ ಮರಕ್ಕೆ ರೋಗ ಆದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್. And controlling illegal cutting of trees. Got it? If few people, their personal profit purpose illegally cutting of the trees, but not for legally. This is possible throughout the Indian country. Majority of the people make profit for themselves. So it was a reason purpose cutting of the trees. We have to stop that. So that is controlling illegal cutting of trees. Then scientific cutting of trees. Got it? So we have to cutting of the trees purpose using for the scientific method, advanced scientific technology we have to use, and we have to stop that method. Got it? Because dry woods to cut make profit. Majority of the people using nowadays only for the scientific cutting of trees. We have to stop that. And legislation to check deforestation. We have to implement more and more laws. It means if anybody involving in a cutting of trees means we have to, government have to take certain what about that certain some of the important legislation, rules and regulation have to implement perfectly to give for the hard punishment for the people who involving in a cutting of the trees and destroying of the forest. Here see the Indian Forest Act of 1927 and the Forest Act of 1980. These two acts also implemented to preserve for the forest or to conserve for the forest. So that is legislation to check deforestation. Encourage afforestation. We have to create awareness for the people, citizens, children, how forests are very useful for the human being. Like we have to plant for the plants. So encourage for the afforestation. And encouraging afforestation through the some of the important movements, we have to create awareness. So these are the very important measures we have to take properly, means 100% possible to conserve for the forests. So these are the measures taken by government to conservation of forests in India. The first one is control of deforestation, restriction on grazing, control of forest fires, prevention of encroachment of forests, control of forest instruction diseases, controlling illegal cutting of trees, scientific cutting of trees, legislation to check deforestation, encouraging afforestation, encourage afforestation. Repeated points, dear students, that we have to follow for that. And wildlife sanctuaries. See mainly here wildlife sanctuaries. Wildlife sanctuary refers to a place meant for providing protection to wildlife. So some places government have to take responsibility to give protection for the wild animals. So such a places we have to refer for the WLS, wildlife sanctuary. What is the meaning of wildlife sanctuary means? Mainly we have to refer wildlife sanctuary refers to a place meant for providing protection to wildlife. Got it? So some forest areas, some important areas, government control, then government providing protection for the wild animals. So such a places we should consider for the wildlife sanctuaries. So a wildlife sanctuary means refers to a place meant for providing protection to wild animals. So it is an area where killing or capturing of any species of animals is prohibited. So where available for the wildlife sanctuaries. So such a places government completely banned for the killing or capturing of the animals. So except under the orders of the competent authority, mainly without the permission of government, we no need to kill for the animals. Sometimes emergency time, the government have to take certain decisions. So sometimes possible to kill for some of the important animals. Why sometimes some wild animals enter to the cities, destroying for the human property and killing for the human being. So such a time government have give permission means possible to kill. So that is. See, there are about 523 wildlife sanctuaries in India. Throughout the Indian country, there are 523 wildlife sanctuaries in India. Let's see the important wildlife sanctuaries as are follows. Anamalai and Madumalai. These two belongs to Tamil Nadu. Dandeli, Bhadra, Talakaveri, BR Hills. So this is Karnataka. So this is very very important, dear students. List out the wildlife sanctuaries that we have to found in Karnataka means Dandeli, Bhadra, Talakaveri, BR Hills. So belongs to Karnataka state. Then Periyar, Kerala, Nagarjuna Sagar, Telangana, Bharatpur and Ranatambur, Rajasthan. See Ratanpur, Rajasthan. Manas, Assam. Next, Jaldapara, West Bengal. These are all the very very important wildlife sanctuaries. Then after that, national parks. What is the meaning of national park? You people are knowing about the zoos, etc., etc., etc. Dear students, even that is also we should consider for the national parks. Look at here, an extensive area which is specially protected to preserve the natural beauty. So some area, some large area, compulsory we have to preserve to the natural beauty and even for the wildlife and forest and public recreation and scientific interest is called a national park. Mainly what is the meaning of national park means an extensive area which is specially protected to preserve its natural beauty. So because of the reason the wildlife area, always forest area consists of the natural beauty and there is a wildlife and there is a some of the important trees. The trees are different from one place to another place. And public recreation, it means the awareness creating again and again, again and again about for the forest purpose and scientific interest, the involvement of the people. So these all we should consider for the national park. An extensive area which is specially protected to preserve its natural beauty, wildlife and forest for public recreation and scientific interest is called as national forest. Then mainly here forestry, grazing or agriculture activities are not allowed here. National parks. In national parks, here forestry, cutting of the trees, etc., etc., and forest activities completely stopped. And grazing or agriculture, we have to no need to do for the agriculture in national parks. Not allowed here. And there are 99 national parks in India. So we have to now have to see through the map which are the some of the important national parks. So some important national parks of India. Look at the map, dear students. Kaziranga in Assam. So this is Kaziranga in so dear students, so this is Kaziranga in Assam. Sundarban, so this is Sundarban, West Bengal. Kharbat, Uttarakhand. Gir, Gujarat. Kanha, Madhya Pradesh. Bandipur, Bannerghatta and Nagarhole, it is in Karnataka. Sariska, Rajasthan. And Dudawa, Uttar Pradesh. So these are the very important national parks. Dear students, you have to print one important map and you have to mark the following some of the important national parks. May be possible to ask some of the important national parks during the time of test or monthly test or midterm examination, whether preparatory or sometimes possible have to give in for the annual examination also. Then the last one, Biosphere Reserve. So the Biosphere Reserves are a special category. This is too special compared to the national parks. This is too special. Biosphere reserves are a special category of protected area of land or coastal environment. Environment. The biosphere reserves are a special category of protected areas. This is the special protected area of land. Which one? Biosphere reserve. It is a special protected area of land. So mainly are coastal environments. Here people are an integral component of this system. Mainly we have to see here people are mainly integral component system. We have to stop for that. Whole. Here people are an integral component of the system. Integral, whole, complete system. Then the main objectives of Biosphere Reserve. So what, this is two more question. What are the objectives of the Biosphere Reserve means? Conservation, it means preservation of the biosphere. Then research, a systematic investigation, research on particular animals, etc. Then education, acquiring knowledge, we have to create awareness among the people. Then local involvement, participation, majority of the people have to participate for protection of the biosphere reserve. So these are the very important and main objectives of the biosphere reserves. Then some of the important biosphere reserves. In India there are 18 biosphere reserves are there. In India there are 18 biosphere reserves are identified. So some of the important, look at the map dear students. Nilagiri. So here for the Nilagiri, Nanda Devi, this is Nanda Devi, and Nokrat, Manas, Great Nicobar, Gulf of Mannar, Sundarban, Simplipal, Kanchanajunga, Pachamari, Agastyamalai, Dirbhushilakon. Dear students, these are some of the important biosphere reserves we have to found in India. And Dihang and Dibang also very important. So this is Dihang and Dibang, Amarakantak. These are the very important biosphere reserves we have to found throughout the Indian country, dear students. Everybody keep in your mind. These are the very important. Run of Kutch. So dear students, see, first of all I already said to you people, so this is a really best team. Everybody's involvement is really great, dear students. They're providing very well and such a wonderful resources. Got it? So these are the great teachers providing wonderful resources, and they made some PPTs. The PPTs are very useful for the students, and and majority of the students while seeing these PPTs and related some of the important sources made by STF digital group. Majority of the children are getting very well scoring in a annual examination. So that all credit goes to the STF digital group only. Okay dear students, this is the lesson Indian forest resources. In this lesson, we are all understanding for the meaning and importance of forests, types and distribution of forests, conservation of forest, then wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, like etc. And dear students, our forest is very important, and it is very important duty to protect for that. And without human being, trees and plants, they can lead a life. Without human being, forests and trees have to lead for the life. But without the trees and plants, highly impossible human being or lead for the life. So it was a reason purpose. It is our duty and responsibility to protect for the forest. I hope you all understood this lesson. Thank you. Have a nice day. Jai Shri Gurudev.